Or there we go. Come on. Here. Still having trouble.
All right, is there anything you can get over to me, even if it's just taking it with your phone, texting it or email, so we can get started here? I've got a limited time for the try it out lesson.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my camera, and I took a picture of it on my iPad.
Okay. Can you text that over, email that over, drop it in the chat?
Okay.
You can reply to the booking email. If you want to email, I can send you my email address, whatever is easiest for you.
Okay. Okay, I got it now. Okay, I just sent it to you.
Did you send that by email, text, how to drop in the chat? There we go. Sorry. Okay, so you're doing stuff in Pearson. That's great. For future, you can absolutely, send this over ahead of time. You don't have to wait until the lesson to do this. And as you know, this has a part A, B, and C, so there could be a little bit of back and forth here. All right. So when you read this problem, it says a random sample of 20, that's n is 20. Mean cost, that's your X bar, 26394.85, and normally distributed with a standard deviation S of 8,200. So you have to be able to grab that information from the problem. Okay. Now a 95% confidence interval, that's your C. Your C is 0.95. Alpha is 1 minus C, which is 0.05. And because a confidence interval is always two-tailed, you end up cutting that alpha in half and you get 0.025. And that's what's in either tail here. Is any of this sounding familiar to you?
Yes.
It's okay if it doesn't. And the other thing here is that you can use a calculator to do all of this, depending on what they allow in your class. Are you guys using a TI 83, 84? Are you using StatCrunch? Like, what are you guys doing for this?
Um, he, um, we're not using like any specific kind of calculator. It's I guess like the way he teaches or my professor teaches it is a bit confusing and
Right. So I'm asking so that I know how to best help you. Like if you're like, hey Matthew, I can use a calculator, like a with built-in functions for this, we can do that. Or it's like, hey, we're using this software, we can do that. If it's not, then it's not. So the confidence interval here is the mean, okay, plus or minus, okay? And then this is where it gets into, I need to know a little bit more information. Do you know if you guys are doing tests yet?
he, no,
So you're just doing z-tests, is that right?
yeah,
Because it says
Z-score.
it doesn't say population standard deviation on this one, which is that's how you know it's a z-test versus a t-test. So this one looks like a t-test, and that's why I'm asking for more information on this because I'm just coming into this blind here. So we'll just try it with the z-test, and if it doesn't like the answer, we'll go to the t. So the next thing you need is what's called this z alpha divided by 2 times the standard deviation divided by the square root of n. Okay. So this alpha value comes from a table, or maybe you have something in class where you have a lookup. It ends up being 1.96. So in your problem here, it's 26,394.85. That's the mean, plus or minus 1.96 times 8,200 divided by the square root of 20. All right, so if you have a calculator handy, recommend grabbing it and trying out these calculations. I do not recommend you use your phone. It's not a good thing for this type of calculation. Uh, and if you don't have one, I can recommend one off the internet to help like during the lessons here.
I'm just getting it out of my bag.
All right, so the numbers I got here, 22,801.04. That's the lower limit. The upper limit is 29,988.66. All right, and that comes from this calculation here. The one on the right is the plus, the one on the left is the subtract.
Okay.
So give those a try and let me know if they're wrong. That would be helpful. Um, and then maybe we can adjust here if we need to.
It says it's right.
Oh, great. What is part B? Is it like a 99% confidence interval?
It's just word.
Okay, so I'll definitely need you'll have to share your screen or drop a snip in for me to be able to help you with that part of it.
Um, I think
You're also welcome to go on to another question if you would like.
I think this one is just I could do on my own, and
Okay,
that's
that's
okay.
fine. All right, so whenever you're ready, if you want to send over something else for us to work on.
Okay. Okay, I got it right. Um, okay, I'm gonna screenshot another.
Okay, sounds good. When is this homework assignment due?
Monday.
Monday, okay. And do you normally get like one assignment a week to work on?
Yeah,
All right. How have the quizzes and tests been compared to the homeworks? Are they the same or different or
they're somewhat the same. Not everything appears on. It's just on the that we do on the homework.
okay?
Um, but I haven't been necessarily doing well on the exams.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a big part of the grade. And
yeah.
I know you're not going to use this ever again, so my goal is to make this as easy as possible for you to pass the class. All right, let me know when you send that over. All right, there it is. A couple of screenshots there. Good. Okay. Uh, all right. So this is where if you could share your screen, which don't know if it's still if you can or cannot, but there's that little box there in the top right, and it might say to open this in StatCrunch, because that's a way to more quickly do some of these calculations. We can certainly do that in another lesson. So they're asking you first for the mean or the average. And so there are 20 values here. And the formula for the average is the summation. That's what the sigma stands for. You don't need to know that, but that's what it stands for. So it's this 358.9 divided by 20. Okay, that's the average of this 358.9 divided by 20. So it ends up being 17.4 9.945. That's for part A.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. And then the next part says it's the 95% confidence interval for the mean fuel tank capacity of all
The
new
99%, you said?
95.
95. Okay. All right.
Uh,
So, can you possibly click on this box and copy to clipboard and then paste it in the chat?
okay.
That will save me some effort here if possible.
Okay.
I got it. I got it entered here. So don't worry about that. There's the average. All right. So what we need is what's called the standard deviation of the sample. And that's why they allow you to copy this into like a document, or you can use your calculator. So the standard deviation here is 3.0595, 3.0595. So to find the 95% confidence interval again, and this is where, again, I'm not sure if you're using Z's or T's, but for the Z, you take the mean plus or minus the Z alpha divided by 2 times the standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So because it's a 95%, that again is the 1.96 is the Z value. That's something you would get in a table in class. Like it would say for the confidence interval of, 95%, you would know to use 1.96, 90% would be 1.645, and so on. You might get a few others in there. So in terms of this, it's 17.945 plus or minus 1.96 times the 3.0595 divided by the square root of 20. So if you haven't figured it out yet, there's a lot of calculations in this class, and that may not be very appealing to you. It can feel overwhelming, especially if you're not a math person, and I totally get it. How many decimal places do you need to round to for the answer to part B? Does it say like 2 or 3?
2.
2. All right, comma. And again, this is all based on whether it's a Z interval. If it's not a Z interval, then these will not be correct. But give these answers a try and see if it does take that.